Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the press conference following the meeting of the Prime Minister Andrej Babis with the Secretary General of NATO, Mark Rutte. Mr. Babis, you have the floor. Good evening to everyone, ladies and gentlemen. Honorable Secretary General, dear Mark, I'm very pleased to be able to welcome you here. We actually meet over a short period of time for the third time, because I have spent 2 hours in your residence in Brussels before the nomination. We have seen each other in Davos in Switzerland, and now you are here with us, and I am very happy to see you here, because our new government, which has been in place for 4 months, nearly 4 months now, we consider our defense capabilities and our obligations within the NATO to be of utmost importance and a priority. Today we had a meeting together with the Minister of Defense, Mr. Zuna, and also in presence of Minister of Foreign Affairs. We have discussed the spending, the defense spending, which are important for us as well. And certainly one of our priorities is to build a bigger army compared to what we have now. We have also agreed that our teams will exchange the numbers in order to clarify what the percentage is, because the GDP is continuously rising, thanks God. And when I became the Minister of Finance in 2014, and I think you were the Prime Minister at that time, Mark, we started at 42 billion, and we have managed to increase the spending before we left the government last time, and we have managed to increase it by 100%, which was over 90 billion at that time. And because the GDP is growing, of course the numbers can be interpreted, and I can say that the spending from 2014 to 2025 has quadrupled, but I understand the rules follow the percentage of GDP that need to be spent, and I have actually explained this, or tried to explain this to President Trump, because we have different GDPs, we have different nominal GDP as well, but certainly we will do everything in our power to meet our obligations. Our army within NATO is of great, or enjoys great reputation. Our soldiers in Afghanistan and in any other missions enjoy great level of reputation. We are very proud of them and we respect them. The situation in the world is obviously very tense. Tomorrow we will have a video conference with our friend Emmanuel Macron and with the British Prime Minister Starmer, as well as with the other member states, concerning the situation in the Strait of Hormuz. And I'm very happy that our colleagues from Minister of Foreign Affairs, Minister Matsinka and Minister Zuna, are generating proposals or a tangible offer as to how do we ensure security in the Strait of Hormuz. I don't want to discuss this in detail at this moment. Of course, it is something where our industry can help, our technologies can help, and I think that our friends and even President Trump might be pleased that the Czechs have put forward this offer that we're going to discuss tomorrow. So we have also discussed the situation when it comes to supply of fuels to Europe, jet fuel, refineries and everything. Europe needs to re-evaluate and actually mind the numbers and discuss more its self-sufficiency, because what's happening in the Strait of Hormuz, what nobody could, come up with that or envisage that. And now everyone is surprised what is produced from crude oil and from gas and what gas is needed. but we will discuss this with my colleagues at Cyprus during the informal summit. So once again, Mark, thank you for coming here. We've been long-time friends, and I think that our relationship is very important. Our personal relationship is very important. You know very well, Mark, that I have always fought in the interest of Europe. The Czech Republic fights for its own interests, but also for the European interests. And Europe has to be competitive. It has to be competitive in defense, it has to be self-sufficient, and that's what we are after. And thank you very much for coming here, Mark. And I'm looking forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you, Prime Minister. And Secretary General NATO, Mark Rutte, the floor is yours.
Yes, well, thank you so much, Prime Minister. Dear Andrej, indeed, our friendship means a lot to me. And we are close colleagues for so many years now, and thank you for the warm welcome to Prague here today. It's great to see you again and to meet with the team. And it's always, anyway, to be good to be in this beautiful city, which has stood at crossroads of European history now for centuries. Since joining NATO in 1999, Czechia has been a committed ally, making important contributions to our shared security. Your troops serve in NATO's forward land force in Slovakia and Latvia and Lithuania. You contribute to KFOR, NATO's peacekeeping mission in Kosovo, and your jets have been part of NATO air policing, including to Iceland last year. All this shows Czechia takes its membership of NATO seriously and is committed to collective defense. In today's security environment, this matters more than ever. We face an aggressive Russia, an assertive China, a threatening North Korea, and a dangerous Iran that has pursued a nuclear and ballistic missile program now for years. In a more dangerous world, allies took historic decisions at the NATO summit in The Hague last year to invest more in defense, increase defense production, and keep supporting Ukraine. The summit in Ankara this July will focus on how NATO is delivering. Increasing defense spending is essential so that we have the forces, the resources and the capabilities to keep our people safe. And we know, and this is true for all allies, there are difficult debates on deciding budgets and allocating more funding for defense. But in the end, security is the foundation of prosperity, and when there is insecurity, societies and economies suffer. Andrej, with your successful career in business, you know the importance of strong industry. And in NATO, we are working to increase transatlantic defense cooperation and innovation. More defense spending and production provides effective deterrence, promotes economic growth, inspires innovation, and, not unimportant, it creates jobs. On Ukraine, I welcome that the Czech-led ammunition initiative is moving forward. It is making a real difference. More than 4 million rounds of ammunition have reached Ukraine. And I urge nations who are now listening in, and the other 31 allies, to keep funding it so Ukraine gets the ammunition it needs to hold back the Russians. I was in Berlin yesterday to discuss with NATO allies and partners how we will continue to ensure that Ukraine gets the help it needs. I welcome the extra support announced by Germany, the United Kingdom, the Netherlands. Belgium announced another package of 1.1 billion euros, and also many other countries were very clear on their commitments. Last night's missile and drone attacks on Ukraine show how ruthless Russia is. It continues to deliver terror from the skies, killing and injuring innocent civilians. Ukraine needs our help to deter against Russia today, be in a strong position to secure peace, and also to deter against any future aggression. Prime Minister Babis, dear Andrej, I look forward to working closely with you on our shared security. We agree that our citizens must be protected and that allied territory must be defended from any threat, from any direction, and we count on a strong Czechia and a strong NATO. Again, thank you for hosting the delegation and me here today in Prague.
Také děkuji a nyní
Thank you. And
Česká televize, prosím.
there is room for one question. Czech TV. Teresa Šedivá, Czech TV. I would like to ask both guests, Secretary General and the Prime Minister. Did you also touch one of the topics during the meeting, whether or not the Czech Republic will meet the 5% GDP threshold by 2030, and to what extent this is of key importance for NATO's? And have you also discussed the summit in Ankara? Have you also touched on the issue who will be representing the Czech Republic? What is going to be the government, also the president?
Let me assure you that every visit I make to every ally, we discuss defense spending. It's not different today. This is true for all my visits, because it is important that we all deliver on the commitment. So, absolutely. And I look forward to the Ankara summit, because it will obviously touch upon the defense spending. It will absolutely also address the key issue of Ukraine. But it will also very much, I think, focus on defense industrial production, and to make sure that we not only have the money, but we also have the defense industrial output. And here Czechia can help, because you have your defense industrial base, and what we need from these beautiful companies is even more output, more production lines, more shifts, not only here in Czechia, but this is true for the whole of NATO, including the United States. Because we need to produce more to maintain our deterrence level.
Minister Zuna has been asked to present a new strategy for the Czech army by the end of May, which will focus on our obligations, both in the air defense and the artillery. Tomorrow in the city of Bechyně, I will spend about 3 hours together with the members of our army, who are actually testing new anti-drone technologies, because as we can see, not only in Ukraine, but also Iran war is mostly about drones these days. So the minister will present a new strategy by the end of May, and the cornerstone of our army are the people, are the soldiers that we have. And we will get ready within the framework of this new strategy accordingly to meet our long-term targets with respect to NATO. We do have slightly different numbers at the moment, so hence we agreed that the team of the Minister of Defense and the team of Secretary General will discuss this further. We will continue to discuss these issues, and it is of utmost importance to be mutually aware of the expectations and what the possibilities are at the same time. So it is good, and we're glad that Mark has paid a visit here to the Czech Republic, because we had the opportunity to discuss it. Before the summit in Ankara, there will be the Minister of Foreign Affairs meeting. Secretary General has informed us about the fact that Mark Rubio will be attending that meeting, as well as the Secretary General. So this will be a very important meeting on the 23rd of May, if I remember that correctly. And we shall get ready for the summit, NATO summit in Ankara, because being a new coalition government, we would like to provide information about our army and about our goals. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our press conference. Have a good day. No, bye-bye.
Thank you so much.